The last feature of my office that I'll share with you are my books in my basic study area. It's not too elaborate. I've been honing for several years to just keep the books that I know I keep going to rather than keep a bunch of books that I don't read on my shelf. Now these top two shelves full of books are mostly things I've been reading for my Doctor of Ministry study at Midwestern Baptist. So I'm not sure I'll keep all these, but Carl Henry, these 5 volumes, or this, I should say 6 volumes of God, Revelation, and Authority is a go-to book series for really the best modern, I would say, evangelical scholarship is found in these books. The rest of them a lot of them have to do with leadership because that's the focus of my D-Min. But even here I have to slip in a couple great books about whitetails, the greatest whitetails of all time. Over here is where I keep the current commentaries I'm working on. And when I'm done with a series, like you'll notice here, the Book of Acts, I just finished Acts, so I put my Book of Acts commentaries here. I don't typically buy full sets of commentaries. I just wait till I preach from it and buy the commentaries for that book. And over the years, I preached for something like 15 of the 66 books of the Bible, maybe 20 now. And so I'm building my commentary, my hard copy commentary sets by doing it as I preach or teach through it. Luke is another example of this, and that's how I have them organized. Isaiah stuff all there in the bottom, that's a series I really love. Over here is more of my theological studies. On the top are all my class notes from both Moody Bible Institute and for Covenant Seminary back in the day. And so I do refer to those from time to time, especially when I want to teach on something. There's some good stuff in there that helps me. These are my systematic theological studies and works that I really enjoy. Here's a book by Dr. Robert Raymond, Bob Raymond's dad. Excellent systematic theology that he wrote. This is the go-to Louis Berkhoff systematic theology. It looks different today, and I think the reason why they changed it is because we used to call this the big blue sleeping pill when I was in seminary. It's not a blue book anymore. It is good, but I just can't read it in one sitting. Of course, the Institutes of the Christian Religion by John Calvin, several copies of those. Greatest systematic treatment of the Bible, in my opinion, ever written. Got some Charles Hodge up there for no extra charge. John Stott, one of my favorite authors, probably is my favorite author in many respects. His commentaries and his books, The Cross of Christ being one of the great ones. I gave away my last copy of Knowing God, which is J.I. Packer's great work, that usually would be up in that spot, and it's missing because I gave it to somebody. Some of these other books are books from doctoral studies that I did in the past that I can't find anyone to buy anymore, but they cost too much for me to throw out. So if anyone is interested in the history of the Christian church by Sheldon, let me know. I got a book for you. Or better yet, the history of the Westminster Divines, Assembly of Divines, and their notes. That's a real winner. And how about The Economy of the Covenant Between God and Man, Comprehending the Complete Body Divinity by Witsius. It's a great book, but it's not one you're going to necessarily read twice. So these are my systematic works. A lot of church history stuff here. I've taken church history as kind of the main thrust of my teaching in seminary anyways. And these are some of the church history books that I have accumulated. One great one that Lance Kinzer put me onto, The Democratization of American Christianity. It's really the best book I've found to explain why Christianity is the way it is in the United States. So these are some of my church history books. And these are the ones that I keep as permanent, like I said, and I'm always kind of honing on these because I don't want to keep books that I'm not going to read. Over in my desk area, next to my Star Trek chair and desk that a very generous church member no longer needed and donated to us, and I got it, so I'm pretty happy. It's the church's, but I get to sit in it. Kind of feel like Captain Kirk here. But my desk, basically, I always have sermon manuscripts or study manuscripts for whatever I'm studying or doing next, sitting there and I read over them and over them. Planning materials for Sunday school, for other events and teaching things that we're doing in the church. Here's a copy of my dissertation so far that I have not yet finished. I'm up to chapter 3. I have 6 chapters to go to do, so about halfway there. These are the books that are for my most current expositional series. And these are all Ephesians. I've been getting ready to do the Ephesians series after Easter, and so that's what I have closest to me. Of course, the PCA Book of Church Order that I do my devotions out of, just kidding, in the blue book over there, and some of the Greek materials that I'll check things with. You could do a lot of your Greek stuff online, but I'm old school. I like to flip to my analytical lexicon from time to time. It's a well-worn book over there to check on certain words and their meanings to make sure I'm getting it right. And I have Calvin right here and the commentary set to my left. Kyle and Delitzsch, you can't see underneath that desk. That's a great Old Testament series. Spurgeon's Treasury of David right over there. Clark's Commentaries, which is a commentary set I inherited from Sherry's grandfather, who was a pastor as well. That's a special commentary set. I'll find different notes from him from time to time that he slid in there. There's a DVD set for the Puritan series we're going to be doing in Sunday school. So these are a bit of the books, the study area I have. I spend 6 to 10 hours a day here, almost every day when I think about it, except Wednesday, which is my day off. So I spend a lot of time in this place. Almost all of my sermons anymore, I put on my iPad because of Renee Schmidt and some others who didn't like it looking like I didn't have a Bible in place. I just put it in this thing to deceive you all, and it's just really my iPad. And when I want to go to a sermon, I go to Dropbox and then see whatever my last sermon was, and this is what it looks like, and boom, there are my notes. And I can hold it like this, and this is what I'm preaching out of on a Sunday morning. I've been using my iPad for over 10 years now. I very rarely use hard copy paper because I'm doing my best to conserve God's creation. That's my study area, cup of coffee usually in hand, and otherwise I'm ready to go. And can't forget hand sanitizer these days. There it is.